Good afternoon, traders and investors. Let's go ahead. Let's dive into at the close here and see what kind of action we got in the intraday. Let's dive on in. Welcome to At the Close.
All right, it is time for pre-market prep at the close.
Three consecutive highs, opened, matched yesterday's low, and then once it took out there, that's all the breakout momentum traders needed.
All right, traders, how we doing out there? Let's go ahead. Let's dive into this market and see what we see moving. Like always, we're going to have to take a look to see what is going on, but it looks like we got a little bit of a bounce day. I mean, it's nothing significant, at least I would say, but it is bouncing a little bit. I'll show you guys that right now. Let's share the charts here. There you guys see the SPY coming back here, but I mean, essentially look from the 22nd. This was from Monday on, and I mean, take a look at it. What have we done? Pretty much nothing. I mean, we're down about like what, like 0.65, not even a full percent here. So definitely staying within the range right now. Of course, we didn't even get back up over here, but we're just in kind of this tight little range right now. 411's on the downside, 415 on the upside. It doesn't want to get up or out of this. It's just shaking here. Let's take a look at the Qs. Qs also very similar pattern here, right? Gap down, isn't getting out of the range, staying within the range. And I think that's what we need to keep on watch. Do we get above, let's say 317? Do we get below, let's say towards the 312s there on the Qs is what we need to keep on watch. Definitely, like always, guys, if you guys want to call out stocks, you guys call the stocks here also, especially with Joel being out. I don't mind just taking things a little bit, versus going through all the headlines. If you guys got a stock, call it out. We'll just run through it. Whatever is on your guys' mind is what I want to cover today, especially on At the Close. All right, let's go towards it. Let's get into the headlines that were out there. Of course, this one might have been one of the headlines that you saw out there. Maybe not what William's talking about, paying off the student loans early, but taking a look at what happened today. President Joe Biden announcing on today that he will forgive $10,000 in the federal student debt for most borrowers. Biden will also cancel up to $20,000 for recipients of the Pell Grant. He put out a tweet also. I don't know if you guys caught that tweet. Let me go ahead and just kind of give you guys the picture here so that you guys can see what he kind of stated there. The Biden administration student loan debt, forgiving debt here, and also forgiveness only applies to those earning less than $125,000. Student loans paused extended one final time through December 31st, 2022. And also payment based on income. If you have undergraduate loans and you can cap repayment at 5% of your monthly income. Well, there you guys have it. The plan was out there, and I was able to capture a little bit of the edge there on SoFi. Wasn't able to capture all of it. Was looking for a move up towards $7. It eventually came back down through the 640s, kind of stopping me out. I lost a couple of cents, maybe like 2 or 3 cents as I was adding towards the open here. And it near push. I sold my first a little bit of shares at 684, but wasn't able to get all the shares out. So it was just a very small profit today. But that's how it is sometimes, right? We're not always going to be able to capture the full move. And we're also not always just going to get continuation. But one thing is important is trying to set ourselves up. I thought I set myself up pretty nice with yesterday's buy at 616, adding today for the continued breakout. Could have sold it from that 616 and maybe made just about the same that I got here. So I'm not really too concerned. Gave myself a shot for a bigger swing above 7. It didn't work out. That's how it is sometimes. All right, let's keep going towards the next headline that caught my attention, which was about Cleveland Cliff. Let's talk a little bit about that. Cleveland Cliff announcing on Wednesday that it's hiking its price on all its carbon steel products by a minimum of $75 per ton. The company said that the move is effective immediately on new orders in North America. And you're seeing it here really kind of spike here, getting that lift at 315, now really taking off. I really like this chart earlier. I was kind of drawing it out for everybody to take a look at because someone was bringing it up. It did a nice little spike here. We were watching this kind of pattern here, looking for the extension. It came back. I talked about, would we come back into that trend line here? I drew it. You actually end up seeing it. It comes back towards that trend line here, catches the bounce, held sideways, finally getting back above the VWAP and getting that spike. How is this affecting other steel stocks? Look at US Steel taking off there. Look at NUE taking off here. This is why we need to always keep up with the relationships there. So mentions of course, hiking the price on all carbon steel products. Well, you're seeing some of these steel stocks really take off. Another one, Steel Dynamics. Keep your eyes on all these as they're now into play. And you guys know how I like to talk about it. I say it all the time. Sorry about that. Was getting a little call from my man Jerome Powell, but X going to give it to you. And we'll see what happens there in US Steel and some of the other steel players going into tomorrow. Definitely smash the like if you guys like some of these plays. You put yourself in a position to be lucky, kept your stop loss tight. Great strategy. That's the only way we can take it. We never know when we're going to get a big winner. But if you can set yourself up, sometimes, especially like I tried to do there, is take a little bit off. Always look for that nice kind of step up and for the big win sometimes. There's nothing wrong with that, but always understand where your out spot is. And if you had to get out when the getting's good, as they say. All right, thoughts on NVIDIA towards the earnings? I got you, Oscar. We'll take a look at some of the earnings stocks that are coming up tonight. There's a lot on the radar, so I don't mind you bringing that up, Oscar. Good mention there. So calls on SoFi for 2023. Not the worst there. We'll see what happens there. Sell the news. It could have been buy the rumor, sell the news event. Can't blame you for thinking that, Lewis. All right, let's keep going. Weed stonks. Says Lone Pigs, Pigsley and Cubs. Did they get the lift here today? I didn't check that out. Wow, look at that. CGC getting some nice lift up today. Not a bad move there in the 15 minutes here. You can see it on the CGC move on up there. Does anyone know why these were moving today? I didn't capture this one. Let me know why you thought those cannabis stocks were moving, Lone. Maybe you caught the headline that I didn't. All right, let's keep going. Let's go towards some other news out there. You guys saw Triple BY try to hang on, and it could not do it. It went right back down there to the $10 spot. Of course, this is coming after securing the loan. And it just shows me more and more. I mean, I just think this company's badly run. I'll just say it again. I think it's really badly run. How do you get a run up that far up and don't raise some money? I just don't understand it. And now you're looking for a loan. It's kind of not, I would say it's 101 on probably not how to run a company. But in my eyes, we'll see what happens there in Bed Bath & Beyond to see if it can get back up through the 13. I wonder how this was going to affect Ape and the different stocks. I even took a shot on Ape today, got stopped out for a really small loss there, and was looking to see if it was going to drive it. It couldn't get driven. None of the meme stocks really took off. I was even keeping an eye on Party, AMC, GME. We were going to see if they were going to take off. They did not want to make a move at all. All right, so Kathy, as they're buying the dip here, getting a little bit of a lift today. Let's see what stocks were good in some of the growth names, or maybe it was just some biotech and the healthcare names bouncing back. If you take a look at my sectors, this could give you a little bit of the insight and why I always try to stay with the rotations that's out there in the markets. There you guys see, and healthcare was actually our leading sector for 2 days on the downside. Now you're seeing it as the leading sector towards the upside, up 1% from the open. And a lot of these coming from what? The biotech area. But let's go back to that ARKK so we can take a look at which one of these was having a nice move. So look at Beam Technologies bouncing back here. Look at the daily chart. Look how that really bounced back. That's really going to help out Kathy's ARKK. And then we can take a look at some other ones. I'll roll on through. Some of these are in diagnostics and research, another area where she likes to be in healthcare. You can see it here. This TGX, NVTA was having a good day. DNA bouncing back. Whole bunch of biotechs and diagnostics and research stocks. CRISPR bouncing back here. That's a biotech. Then you get Fate, another biotech. NTLA, another biotech. And so you see here, what was at the top of our holdings? Well, it shows us that biotech was definitely coming on back, had a nice day there. And that's why I use this ETF to kind of measure a lot of what's going on, but I also take a look at what truly is moving as a part of the ETF. Then we'll get into some of those names. Zoom bouncing back a little bit today, about 3%. So maybe her buy the dip on Zoom wasn't the worst. I definitely don't still support that one, but hey, to each his own. Shop getting a little bit of a bounce. T-Doc, Spot, Square, Unity getting a little bit of a bounce. Now the question is this a good area for, like, let's say stocks like Unity that are starting to go sideways, about 50% of the retracement? Will it take that next step up to 58 or 59? You guys in the chat, let me know. Do you guys feel this is kind of more of a buy the dip opportunity here? Or do you feel it's kind of more sell the kind of wait for it to get all the way back down to the support, then to look to see if we're going to catch the buy the dip moment? I know that some people are watching Unity. Let me know in the chat what you guys think. Let's keep going. All right, Peloton did have news, of course, right? Mentioned with that Amazon news. We caught it in the pre-market prep, but look how it stayed up all day long. So this is actually a good look there for Peloton, not smacking right back down. This could have a day 2, day 3 move, maybe getting it back up there towards 1580s. There's some resistance here that it's going to run into about the 14. Let's take a look at what happens there around the 1375 tomorrow. Can it get past that? Then it'll give a little bit of room for it to run on up there closer towards the 1580s and 16s. Let's see what happens there in Peloton. Peloton short. A lot of people just not liking the Peloton. Greedy with the fees and tax and shipping, though. We'll see what happens. eBay seems poorly run. Take Two took 2 weeks to fix their feedback problem. Let's take a look at eBay. eBay is one that I actually called short in the 60s. That's right around here where you guys saw that. And man, I wish I would have been able to hold that eBay one as this was coming on down. It had like kind of the head and shoulders topping action, and it just started falling down fast. It's been a ugly stock this year. It's just continued on the downtrend, probably coming down there for those 42s. I would look for this one to be one of those that could take out the lows. All right, let's go ahead and just catch up what you guys are talking about in the chat. CGC, not the best of breed. Yeah, I don't think it's the best of breed. More the American MSOS. That's what I like looking at, MSOS, because this is U.S. cannabis. And I think in the long run, this is probably the area that you want to be. You guys remember, I actually traded this one when we got this little pop up here. I'm going to keep on watch. Now you have a daily level to kind of keep an eye out for. Look how you got above this trend line and now seem to want to hold here towards this support around the 1159s. Let's look to see if we can get some pullbacks into this area around the 12.10s, $12 tomorrow to see if it wants to continue going. Look at that little push there, MSOS. We'll see what happens on these cannabis stocks. All right, definitely over 200 people here. Do me the favor, smash the like. I'm here for you, Joy. Let's keep on going. Now we can take a look at some of the stocks that will have earnings tonight. Looks like someone wants to talk about Salesforce. I'll take a look at that, Lewis, and then we'll go into stocks that will be having earnings later today. All right, let's take a look there. Salesforce getting a nice little lift here. Software and application name getting a little bit of a bounce back. You can see here I have a green line drawn. I wanted to see really closing above that 190 to show me a reversal in Salesforce. It's pulled back a decent amount here, but I think it really needs to get back above that 190, get into the 200s to really show me that it wants to come back here. If you take a look at it on the retracement levels, maybe that's what you're looking at. And you can see here, it held the 50% retracement around the 176 level. That's the level to watch now if it does get taken out on the downside. All right, let's keep going. CGC is the leader. Trump and Bill look like they're in a little bit of a battle there. We'll see what happens. Jay mentioning one that is moving. It was agricultural inputs, MOS making some nice lift. You could also look at CF. This was also one that I was calling out earlier in the day that it seemed like it had a nice pattern here. Look at this one. It really did continue that nice little push there. So keep these on your radar. Of course, agricultural inputs is actually the leading industry in basic materials today. So take a look also at seed getting a little bit of lift. IPI getting a little bit of lift. potash here, getting some lift here the last 2 or 3 days, really kind of getting that push up. Keep these ones on watch. CF getting some lift. Another one, of course, you guys can start watching now. We'll see if kind of there's a couple of these here that kind of continue to move. UAN also getting lift. We'll see if these start really pushing. Agricultural inputs getting some new lift. And definitely keep these on watch, especially if you're seeing the 200 and kind of a 50-day below it, or all your moving averages below it. That shows strength there. UAN, one of the strongest one. MOS is the leader, and look how also the moving averages are all below it as it starts pushing back here. We'll see what happens there in Mosaic Company. All right, let's keep going here. Let's take a look at some of the earning stocks that will be coming after the bell. I thought none other way than just kind of bringing up the earnings calendar here. This is the earnings for the week. What do we have tonight? Well, you guys see it there. NVIDIA, Snowflake, Splunk. What else is on your radar? Throw it up in the chat. We'll run through it here. Now let's go to NVIDIA here. Let's see how it performed on the intraday. You can see here we caught the bid a little bit. We're trying to get back up through the 174.50 area. So tonight, that's what I'm going to be watching for the upside. If we could get past and get into the shadow zone, then maybe you can make your way back up towards the 182 tomorrow. So there's a kind of a shadow up here towards 178. We'll see if that gets filled there on the earnings. That's kind of, if you're a bull, that's kind of the area that you want to really start getting above and holding. Of course, you can also take a look at this more on a 50% retracement level. How did that perform? Let's take a look at that and see where those levels would be. If we take a look at the recent move, you can either call it from the low of the July, but I'll call it from the low here on up there towards the high of the 192. 50% retracement puts it right at 168.24. That's probably why I have that line drawn there. And you can see today we went to 168.95. We're just off of it there. And then also held it on this pullback recently on August 9th. As you're seeing that hold back, we'll see if it can come on back here through the earnings up to 178. All right, we'll see what happens there. I appreciate you, Rashad, giving me a little love. Let's keep it going here. All right, so AMD is another one to kind of keep on watch. It was trying to cut down on the downside, but then reversed right back up here. It was really weak here right out the gates, but then coming right back on up. So keep these ones on watch. We'll see what happens with NVIDIA. Snowflake, let's go take a look. Snow holding on well here, getting a nice little push back up here. Now it's just going to be all about the earnings. We'll see what happens. Will it get it going here? Will it take that next step up there towards the 180s? If it does have good earnings, I think we get it up there towards above 170, up towards a move to 180. With a bad earnings report, we could be right back down towards 144s. Watch out if we cut through the 150 on Snow. Of course, this one's also going to definitely probably affect the Unity, also in Roblox. So take a look at how those trade after you get that earnings report. All right, keeping on going here. What other ones we're going to take a look at? What's on your eyes, guys? What do you want to take a look at that's coming up tonight? All right, like we said, there's also Splunk. Splunk is SPLK. Yeah, I got it. Splunk trying to come on back, software infrastructure stock. Definitely tried to catch a little bit of the bounce today around the 108 area. This is one that, honestly, with a bad earnings report, could be at 100, a good one at 120. It's not something that I would call towards the upside, just because, I just think that software names are probably some of the worst in this environment, but to each his own, right? I mean, if you think these are the stocks that you should be trading, we'll take a look at it. If it can get back up through the 130s, up to 140, where the 200-day is, you'll be right back in the bullish tune. We'll see what happens with this one, if it can make that move up towards the 120. All right, catching up with the chat. What's going on out there, guys? Let's do a little ticker time. We got about 10 minutes left here. If there's a stock that's on your radar, we can, of course, go through it, or maybe one of the earnings stocks that caught your attention out there. I did see news on Apple about their event that's going to be coming on up. How did Apple close the day here? Well, looks like we're closing on up. Let's take a look at the high cap names here. I did want to take a look at some of the high caps, see how those were performing. You can see Apple up 0.35. Microsoft just clicking into the red there. Google into the green. You got TSM in the red. That gives me a little bit of a sign that there's some weakness here. but Meta holding us up also. NVIDIA up about 0.48. We'll see what happens. I mean, if NVIDIA gets crushed tonight, there goes the market, I think, in my eyes. I think it'll start getting dragged down. But what held us up today, I think a lot of that was Tesla. Tesla was holding on up, but you can see it. Now we're getting into the red with Tesla. So that's interesting for me. We still aren't completely into the red there. Let me do a little refresh here. Make sure this is in real time here. Yeah, we're down on the day there. Yeah, we're still up on the day. It's about 0.9 on Tesla. We'll see what happens here. Can it come on down there and break, or will it come back? I thought that was what's holding the cues, and you can see here, it's just been kind of a little bit of a chop fest today after that kind of big push up and then coming right back down. We'll see what happens with these names. It's a little confusing, I think, the price action today, and that's why I'm not going to go overly extending into certain names. Look at XOM, though, now really getting the lift here towards the close as oil starts to push here, guys. I will talk about that one, BNZMB. Uranium had an amazing day today. I definitely agree so, and something that we should cover. Oil definitely starting to get the push here towards the close. It did pull back there for a second. Now look at that setup on Oxy trying to come back on up. I like those levels. Look at the hourly. You can see the trend line here. That's a pullback, and now it's trying to push on up. We'll see if it takes the next level. And, of course, keep your eyes on some cheaper names that these are really starting to push. ConocoPhillips through the 100, now up to 110. This is definitely a stock that I wanted through the 100. Should have taken a little bit of the swing trade on these. And I'll tell you right now, if there's any area where I feel like I should have taken more swing trades, it's definitely in energy. All right, let's take a look there. Some cheaper names. We'll probably continue to run with that. I was going to take a look to see how INDO is closing. Of course, one of those fast-moving stocks in oil that like to kind of recover. When oil drops fast, you see this drop even faster. But when it recovers, it also recovers just as fast there. And so we'll take a look at it. We'll see what happens with those. Like example also, TEL kind of pulling on back today. Will it take that next step up? That's what I'd keep on watch. We'll see what happens with some of these oil and gas names. Now, CCJ, I did say I would talk about it. So there you guys see it. Uranium really getting that lift here. This was a chart that I didn't even like a couple of days ago. Now it's looking really good. That's just how simple as it goes sometimes. Sometimes other people are going to see it better than you. And I feel like this is a clear example of a stock that you guys might have saw way better than I did, and we're able to nail it. And so let's take a look at it now. Look at the weekly outlook, how you're trying to come back on up through here. So I would be watching for pullbacks into that area. That's a pullback towards 26.50 here. We'll see what happens now. It did hold kind of that pullback here when it pushed on up, came back here, then really took that next level up to 27.26. We'll see if it can continue making work. And you can see here, UUU having some good lift also. A lot of these kind of getting lifts. What was the one? Was it UUA or was it UA? But Jay, if you're in the chat, let me know. What was that ETF that you gave me a little bit earlier today? I thought that was a good one on uranium. FLR is one that you're mentioning there. What was that ETF? If you could do me the favor, Jay. FLR, interesting stock there. Looks like those uranium plays definitely getting going. Basic materials, if you look at the industrial metals and minerals, having a really good day also. Take a look at LAC, getting some lift. I'm sure Vail was even up today. Oh, no, it didn't. Keep this one on your radar. I do like when this one kind of takes off. I'll actually put a set alert for us on live trading. Interesting to see that one down. But, yeah, I saw LAC, lithium players really getting some lift. PLL coming right back on up after pulling on back to the 200-day. I really like this pullback, and it took right back up. URM, was it? No, it wasn't that one. Let me know, Jay, if you got it. Oh, URA. Thank you, Jay. I saw your message now. It takes a little while. The global uranium ETF. This one was interesting. Take a look at that. I mean, for an ETF play, this one really had a good day today. Straight on up there. And you could take a look at some of the other ones that this one includes. UEC, Uranium Energy Corp, LEU, taking some nice lift, and URG, not a bad move there. Industrial metals and minerals getting some good push. All right, what's going on out there, guys? Let's keep it going. We've got about 4 minutes left here until the bell. I got a couple minutes to go through some of those stocks. We'll see what happens out there. NVIDIA 150 buy. We'll see if we get on up there. MACK, M-A-C-K. That's going to be McKesson. McKesson, interesting stock to mention there. You don't hear that too much. Let's take a look here. It looks like it's fighting here, the 374s. You're really trying to hold on to this support here. If you can't hold on, you might go down here. So 363.19s, that's from this wick here. Let's see if it gets back on up there. You can see it's fighting to try to get back to 374. Has just been stuck inside this range for a little while. I'd take a look at maybe an hourly chart or 4-hour chart, and you can start seeing a little bit closer towards the support. I'd actually draw the support closer here. As you can see, there's a lot of kind of price action right off of this 361.49. See if that holds and it comes back on up. If you're a bull, a break of 360, and I'd definitely be careful for some downside slippage. All right, let's go. Let's go. I see you guys throwing up a lot of stocks in the chat. That's what I like to see. That's what I'm here for. Let's do it. Gdx Gold Miner Etf starting to come back. I think a lot of this has to do with the dollar index. Let me take a look at the dollar, how it was trading today. I want to just take a quick peek at it here. See, are we up on the day? Are we down on the day? It looks like we're kind of unchanged, at least from what I'm seeing right now. Let me know what you guys see on the dollar, but it doesn't look like it came up or down. I think a lot of that kind of affected gold here. I'm not 100% positive, but I do feel that this recent move in gold, that it's been trying to make it, has a lot to do with the dollar index. Keep your eyes on it. Same thing for silver. I feel like when you're seeing a weak dollar or a dollar in the red, you're seeing silver up and you're seeing gold up. When you're seeing the dollar up, you're seeing silver and gold probably down. So keep your eyes on it. We'll see what happens on these names. Silver has been told to me that it would probably get the strongest of that relationship between the dollar, but we'll see what happens. UUP, dollar index, also showing a little bit of topping. Good call out there. Appreciate you making that mention. That's what it's all about. You guys in the chat also. All right, Oxy is a double top. I'm looking to short. Oof. You're brave there. You're brave there. You're willing to short that Oxy. I don't mess with Warren, but can't blame you if that's your outlook. All right, let's keep going. Let's take a look at one more stock before we get on out of here. It's 358. We'll take a look at the close and see what got moving today. I did see ChargePoint today get some lift here, so let's talk about that one. Getting some nice lift on up, going sideways. A lot of this probably coming off the Inflation Reduction Act, of course. So keep this one on your radar. We'll see what happens with ChargePoint. But I don't know if you guys caught earlier today, I had an interview with Blink Charging CEO on Stock Market Movers. I definitely advise you guys to go ahead and check out that interview. He did give some comments on ChargePoint and EV Go that I really thought were interesting. But like always, you got to go see the interview to find out those comments. Check it on out, guys. It's right on our channel. Stock Market Movers is the show that I do from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. And we had a great interview with Blink Charging. All right, let's keep going. Let's take a look at some other ones. He did mention EV Go and had some really cool comments on it. Interesting for me, for sure. And go check it out. We'll see what happens. EV Go also having a good day. Blink having a good day. We'll see what's up with these stocks. All right, let's keep going. We got about, oh, there's the bell. It doesn't hide from us. Let's take a look there. Send the link. I got you. I'll take a look at that right now. I'll give you guys the link. I had no problem with that. Just got to go to my home page here and kind of pull it on up for us. But the SPY, where did we close? We closed right at 413.50. So essentially into the green, but still in the sideways trend. We need to get out of this sideways trend. Without that, I don't think we're going anywhere. So keep it on watch. We'll see what happens out there. And to see if we can get out of this range, we're just kind of stuck between the 415s and the 411 on the downside. The daily outlook wasn't a bad little bounce there, but we really need to see something come up to, let's say, 419 if we think that we're truly bouncing back towards the 200-day moving average. But you guys check it out. I'll give you guys the link towards that Blink interview so that you guys can check it on out. Throw it up in the chat now, and I'll get you guys on out of here. Check out my show if you guys didn't. That's the Stock Market Movers. We covered a lot on that show, all the headlines. And of course, like always, taking a look at the intraday action. We also had another interview on there. It wasn't just one. We do 2 interviews on there on most days. Jonathan Maxwell, founder of Sustainable Development Capital, had a great conversation about what is coming forward in sustainable energy, oil situation. Will we see price stabilization? Check that on out. It was a great interview with Jonathan Maxwell. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Like always, hit the thumbs on up before we get on out of here. NVIDIA, what's going on? Are the algos jumping? Ooh, the algos are jumping here. Let's take a look. First move, first tick down, first tick to the downside. We'll see if it ticks right back up. What will happen to NVIDIA? What will happen to tech? What will happen to the overall market? Find out tomorrow on Pre-Market Prep as we go through it, of course, with Dennis Dick. I'll see you guys like always. Hit the subscribe bell below and hit the subscribe button and the bell below to be notified the moment that we go live. See you tomorrow, guys. Hope you guys had a great show today and some great content right here on Benzinga. I'll see you tomorrow, Zinger Nation. Let's go ahead and get on out of here.